Welcome back to the April Drive-In Exploitation Challenge. On the 5th, I didn't watch any movies. I was traveling that day, so I didn't get any movies in. But on the 6th, I got in 4 movies. So let's go through those. First up is 2005's Chaos, which is a David DeFalco film. David DeFalco has started Dark Force Entertainment, which is distributing a lot of Code Red, Banana Man titles. And he's kind of a bodybuilder, metalhead type dude. He's pretty entertaining. I've checked out some of his videos on YouTube where he and Banana Man are kind of goofing around. And of course, he recorded a number of videos when Banana Man was sick. Bill Olsen, by the way, is Banana Man in the hospital. So interesting character. At any rate, he produced, I guess, directed this film, which stars Sage Stallone, who died tragically, and Kevin Gage. And Kevin Gage plays a David Hess ripoff, if you will, from Last House on the Left. This is the Last House on the Left copycat movie. I won't go so far as to say it's a ripoff per se, but it's certainly just a rehash of that story, even down to some of the ending of Last House on the Left and some of the tropes that were used. Chainsaw, for example. There's some small variation, but it's basically it's a much more difficult watch rape revenge movie than Last House on the Left, because it doesn't seem to have much of a message other than it's a pretty rough watch. I mean, the girls are raped in a very vicious way. Kevin Gage is not a David Hess. I mean, I thought he did okay, serviceable. By the way, he was in May. He's in a lot of screen credits. He's done May. He's done Heat. So he's kind of always played a tough guy, bully guy, and he was good in this. But I mean, you're just going up against the best in David Hess, and the storyline again brings nothing new to the table as far as rape revenge, other than kind of a twist ending, if you will. It's a passable film, but it's not a pleasant film to watch at all. I give it a 5 out of 10. It's just unpleasant. So this Code Red release has an audio. I'm interested in hearing this audio commentary track once I can muster up the will to watch it again, because it's a tough watch, no doubt about it. Next up, I broke into this. Was this a 4-pack? Well, it's a 3-pack of films. First up is Supervan, 1977, I believe. This is kind of a basically you've got a cheap-looking AMC. Remember the AMC cars that look like a bubble back in the 70s? For those that are in my time period, growing up in the 70s, the GMC Pacers. That's what this looks like, is a GMC Pacer that's been kind of expanded into a limo type thing. It's really cheap looking and crappy looking, but it was shot in Missouri, interestingly enough. And it's an interesting, gritty 70s film. I mean, it's kind of like a Smokey and the Bandit type slant. Not a whole lot other than that. I mean, it doesn't have a whole lot of memorable characters, but it was okay. I give it a 5 out of 10. Next up is Mama's Dirty Girls, which I believe is 1974. This film was directed by a guy named John Hayes. And John Hayes did Terror Train. I think he was a producer. He had a production credit on Terror Train. The film stars Gloria Graham. For those of you who don't know Gloria Graham, she was kind of a blonde bombshell, not a scream queen, but she was a blonde bombshell, Hollywood bombshell in the 50s. And she went through a succession of marriages, and interestingly, some of it's a little bit notorious. She apparently married her stepson at one point. Very interesting. She also went through a lot of cosmetic surgery that kind of left her upper lip stiff. So she's an interesting character as well. The film also stars Candace Rawson. Candace Rawson is a beautiful blonde bombshell that kind of made the rounds in the early 70s and then kind of disappeared and went off and became a mother and just kind of left the movie industry after the 70s. Basically, what you've got here is mother has taught these two girls to troll rich men, ingratiate themselves with the rich men, and then take whatever they've got. And of course, you know that if that's your MO, you're going to run into some men that are not going to be too happy with that, and of course they run into a guy that's basically going to try and kill them. So it's a good movie. I give it a 6 out of 10. It was good acting. Definitely a grindhouse 70s film. And then finally I finished up with Piranha. Wow. Well, first off, let's talk about the good thing. Piranha stars William Smith, who of course he's always been kind of a tough guy, kind of a poor man's Charles Bronson, if you will. He was in Any Which Way You Can with Clint Eastwood. He was the opponent, the main opponent for Clint Eastwood in that movie. The director, I think he did Grave. No, he only had one. This was his only screen credit. That's right. The director only had. This is it, and I can see why. This is a terrible, terrible movie. It's basically there is no piranha in it. I mean, the first piranha scene is like 57 minutes into the movie, and what it amounts to is someone stuck a air machine in the water and just created a bubble effect with water. When William Smith, I think, throws an animal's carcass or an animal's leg into the water, and the water bubbles up, and then you get a couple of 15-second stock footage of some piranha, and that's it. It really just centers around the story. It centers around these people looking for gold or treasure I think it's in the Amazon, set in the Amazon. They run into William Smith, and then there's just kind of an interplay between William Smith and these characters. William Smith turns out to be a baddie. So it really there is no piranha. It's just a bad movie. I give it a 3 out of 10. I'll give it a 4 out of 10 just because William Smith's not bad in it. But wow, no wonder the guy had one screen credit as director, and he definitely deserves just that one. Okay, that's going to do it for day 6. Hopefully things will pick up. We'll watch some better movies going forward. Thanks for watching.